Fuck a capsule, won't action, no accident. I'm hands on, we fuck around, get polished. Fuck no rain girl, he was a Jill, that's Konami.
Hey everybody. So apparently in our society, some people really look down on OnlyFans girls. You know, and I think that's wrong. I think that's totally wrong. I think OnlyFans girls are legitimate works of living art. Living, breathing art that I fiercely masturbate to for a nominal fee. Now, one thing I never understood about society is people who glorify the past. You know, people who always say things were so much better than the good old days. I never understood that at all. But you know what? I'm going to play along for that tonight. Let's play along and let's go back to the past. Let's go back to some totally random, totally arbitrary point in history. Let's go back to September 2001. Arguably not a great time for most people, myself included. I mean, I just started middle school and that wasn't great. And I was fat, I was very unpopular, and my man boobies had just started to develop. And by the way, ladies, I want you to understand that I totally get it, okay? I totally understand the struggle. You know, especially at that tender young age. I mean, seriously, how do we know if the boys are into us because of our minds and our personalities, and not simply because of our flowering figures? It really is all very confusing. But in fairness, I think I really should have taken advantage of how easy it was to get a girl back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I really should have, because seriously, I grew up in an era where being really good at Guitar Hero could get you laid. At the very least in middle school, knowing all 150 of the original Pokemon could get you like some over the brow action underneath the bleachers. You know, gotta grab them all, gotta grab them all. Copperfield, I choose you! Now, for those of you who are curious, my day job, I work as a janitor. And a couple years ago, I was working as a janitor in a high school, and I was doing a building check in the middle of the night. Now, while I was doing this, a whole school bus full of cheerleaders happened to pull up. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind two things. First of all, it is literally the middle of the night when this is happening. Secondly, these teenage girls coming out of the bus, they can't see me, but I can see them. And yes, it's exactly as creepy as it sounds, you guys. You have no idea how utterly awkward it was to have these sweet, innocent 15-year-old girls just walking towards me, not a care in the world. And then suddenly here comes this giant 300-pound black guy just lumbering out of the darkness. And there I am standing there like a fucking idiot without my clown makeup and hunting knife. It was unprofessional for what that was. I'm just saying those girls deserve better. That's all I'm saying. But you guys should understand something. Despite that last joke, I have no intentions of ever becoming a serial killer. Because despite all the planning I've done, and I have planned, I'm just saying, graves have been dug, knives have been sharpened. I've written a lengthy manifesto about how I can't sexually satisfy a woman. I'm just saying, plans have been made. But despite all the planning I've done, I know I will inevitably get caught. And when I get caught, I know I'll be saddled with the worst serial killer name in history. I can see it already. The cops will have me before the press. I'll be handcuffed and shackled. Maybe I'll have a kick-ass Hannibal Lecter mask over my face. And they'll tell the press, we finally got him. We finally caught the sick son of a bitch. We finally caught the bitch tits killer. Now, like I said, I do work as a janitor as my day job, and a lot of people think that all I do is clean up messes during the day and tell shitty jokes at night. And that is not true. I am so much deeper than that. You know, I have passions, I have hobbies. They're not particularly impressive hobbies, they're more like the kind of hobbies that sad and lonely men indulge in before finally blowing their brains out due to lack of sex. And if any of you are having a hard time visualizing that, I suggest you sit in on a Dungeons & Dragons campaign on a Friday night. You don't know exactly what I'm talking about. And actually, I got quite a bit of blowback for telling that joke. A friend of mine actually took time out of her day to message me to tell me how not funny that was, because there are plenty of people who play Dungeons & Dragons who have active sex lives. And I just want to make it clear, as someone who plays Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering and Warhammer, I just want you all to know I have an active, healthy, supportive sex life with my hand and my fleshlight and my waifu body pillow. And before any of you judge me, you should know my Sailor Jupiter body pillow, she gets me, okay? She knows how to treat a man. Plus she's machine washable, so that's a definite bonus. Now, I feel I should. That was a little dirty of me. So let's clean it up a little bit. Let's take it to a philosophical note. Socrates once said, "A life unexamined is not worth living." I love that saying because I think it's important to know who you are and, more importantly, who you are not. Take me, for example. I know I am many things. I'm a friend. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I'm an avid writer of Power Rangers erotic fan fiction. But I know that I will never be considered what most would call a sex symbol. Okay? I know I'll never be ranked up there among the great sex symbols of our generation. Guys like Chris Hemsworth, Jason Momoa, and Pee Wee Herman. Never gonna happen. That cannot be said of my younger brother. Cannot be said. My younger brother, when he was in his early 20s, was actually offered a modeling career. Now, what this would have meant is he would have done modeling work all across the country and would have got paid thousands upon thousands of dollars per gig. Meanwhile, I'm doing unpaid open mic shows in front of audiences who, quite frankly, don't give a shit. So as far as our career paths are going, I'm definitely winning. But to be fair to myself, you really can't compare me and my brother, because when it comes right down to it, we really are two different species of human being. No, seriously, I'm not making this up. If you were to look at us side by side, my younger brother looks like he was carved out of the finest of black marble. I, on the other hand, look like I was carved out of a block of rotten butter. You know, I'm not trying to gush or anything, but my brother looks like a literal chocolate Adonis. I, on the other hand, look like a bowl of chocolate pudding that became a real boy. And that's another joke I get quite a bit of pushback from, especially from my brother. I told that joke to him one time, and he told me how not funny that was. That was not funny, Alex. Don't ever call yourself chocolate pudding. With your skin complexion, it's really more like butterscotch pudding. But you guys need to understand something. When I refer to myself as chocolate pudding, I'm not talking about any old shitty snack pack pudding. I'm talking rich, creamy, decadent chocolate pudding. The kind of pudding so sweet you have one taste of it, you will go into diabetic shock. So ladies, if you are up to date on all your insulin shots and have a massive sweet tooth, I have only one question for you. Who wants a tour of this chocolate factory? So, I'll leave you guys with this. Another thing about society I really can't stand is people say you can't tell racial or racist jokes anymore. Can't do it. And I think that's bullshit. You go to any young Republican web chat room and you know that's not fucking true. But seriously, I think racial jokes are just fine. It's just all about the context. For example, not too long ago, before I moved here, I went to go visit a friend of mine. I've known him for 30 years. I went to go visit him at his home. And he was showing me his house, and he showed me his hardwood floors, which he said, without missing a beat, that his hardwood floors were made from the hull of an old slave ship. Now, his fiance was absolutely beyond mortified. And she's like, I'm so sorry, that is not true. It's not a slave ship, and I'm sorry you said that. And I said to her, what the fuck are you sorry about? I wasn't on that fucking ship. But that's all I got for you guys today. My name is Alex Morris. Thank you guys so much.